Five Nights at Freddy's security breach left us with more questions than answers. To be fair, most FNAF games do. But there's one major question that everyone's been trying to crack at that's spiderwebbed through the entire lore of the game. Why is Vanny like that? Now, I'm already very confident that Vanny is a warped personality inside the brain of Vanessa made by Glitchtrap. I'll link my video for evidence at the end of this video. But for now, this theory will assume that as fact. The question I never really got to is why? Why would Glitchtrap, and by extension William Afton, want to create a Vanny? Is it just to have a soldier to enact chaos in the real world? Or is it deeper than that? Well, I think I've got a really compelling theory here that explains not only Glitchtrap's motives, but a lot of other mysteries we've yet to really crack at, like Patient 46, the weird hidden Afton room, and even Vanny's childlike demeanor in general. So, let's bake ourselves a theory. Oh, and since you liked Casey in the last video, I figured I'd bring Mark for this one. He's a snugglebug. Before we can understand why Glitchtrap does the things he does, we need to understand what Glitchtrap is. So let's do a profile. We see Glitchtrap being able to physically manifest inside of a video game when the parts of Springtrap remaining after Pizza Simulator are scanned into the system. We also know that he is one entity, as when he's split up on the hidden tapes, he's more of a see-through specter. But the more pieces of him we collect, the more opaque he becomes. Finally, we see him directly do several things. 1. Trap the player in a Freddy animatronic. 2. Trap the player's mind in some sort of locked basement. And most worrying, 3. Merge with the player's mind. Glitchtrap is sort of a living virus, having a physical manifestation and abilities far beyond any actual virus there is. I believe that Glitchtrap is a manifestation of agony, Afton's agony, within the game of Help Wanted. For those of you who don't know, the books, which frankly I haven't read, go into the idea of agony, the strongest human emotion becoming animate, usually by possessing something or taking a form all its own, like RxQ. I think that the Pizzeria Simulator fire burned away all of the remnant that was still there pre-FNAF 6, leaving all that remains agony. Therefore, the only thing that could have been left is Afton's agony. That agony was then scanned into Help Wanted when they scanned old parts that contained Springtrap. Once the agony of William Afton entered the system, it formed a sort of digital specter. Because of this, Glitchtrap isn't quite William Afton, but just his worst memories and traits come to life. His aggression, his penchant for child abduction, his pride. So we have an idea of who Glitchtrap is, and what he's capable of. The question then becomes, what's the deal with Vanny? Why is she like that? Well, let's do a profile on her. I'm going to start only with things that are fully confirmed and canon. This is just going to be the facts of the game, so expect some vagueness here. Vanny is presumably a human wearing a rabbit costume in the style of a mascot. She has several dens located inside of the Pizzaplex, and it is implied she lives there, judging based off of the beds within them. She has some sort of control over the animatronics, as Freddy states that she made them come down there. Speaking of there, she's been helping to create a body for Glitchtrap or William Afton to possess. From what we can see of the Princess Quest arcade cabinets, Glitchtrap has some sort of influence or connection on Vanny. We also know that she acts very childlike, skipping around and asking simplistic questions when chasing Gregory. Finally, she looks identical to Vanessa the Night Guard. All of that was canon and factual evidence. Now back to the theorizing. I think that it's very likely that Vanny and Vanessa are the same person, and that Vanny is the side of Vanessa being controlled by Glitchtrap in order to effect change within the Pizzaplex. But the question still looms overhead. Why would Glitchtrap create a Vanny? Why would he want this childlike soldier to do his every command when we see that he can just enter the mind of somebody? I am here to stake my claim that Glitchtrap is filled with every negative aspect of William Afton, including possibly his only regret, the death of his daughter, Elizabeth Afton. And it's because of that regret, a few other things we'll get into, that he's trying to replace her with Vanny. I know that was a big claim, but I've got bigger evidence to substantiate it, and we can solve some other mysteries of the Pizzaplex along the way. And by the way, this theory was made a lot easier by talking it over with some of the folks in the bakery, the official Rytos Discord. So you can subscribe to become a slice, but join over there to talk about nerd stuff, FNAF theorize, we have a community Minecraft server. It's a really fun time. Although it is 18 plus, not because we do weird stuff, but I'm just 24, I don't want to hang out with a bunch of minors. Anyways, sorry for the plug, back to the video. Realistically, I think there's two reasons for Afton to want another Elizabeth. First off, as baby, she was incredibly obedient and willing to do anything for him.
Now we can do what we were created to do, and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy.
That alone is a very worthwhile ally to have, whether or not he feels any regret about her death. He has to recognize how useful she is to him. But more theoretically, I think Glitchtrap regrets her death. Agony is made up of the worst parts of a human, and I think somewhere deep down in that fucked up little mini Grinch of a heart of William Afton, he regrets Elizabeth's death. Think about it. He warns her multiple times and doesn't let her play with baby. For some reason, he cares about Elizabeth living. There's even a chance that her death is what spawned all of this child murder in the first place, because we really don't know if she was the first or third victim here. Look, I'm not trying to convince you that William Afton is Father of the Year. He's probably one of the most cruel, vindictive, worst, horrible dads in all of media, but I am saying that a digital version of him made from his own agony might have a regret. Furthermore, I don't think making Vanny was his first plan. I think he originally wanted to become someone. In one of the Help Wanted endings, we see Glitchtrap trying to almost merge with the player, and for a split second we begin seeing through his eyes, and then the game abruptly cuts off. My thinking is that this ending is showing us what happened to Jeremy, the first tester. I think Glitchtrap originally planned to escape into the mind of the first sucker who entered the game, but midway through finally getting out, the human did the unthinkable just to prevent it. He cut off his own face. He must have realized that anyone would be willing to go to such extreme measures when they realized what was happening during such a slow process. He had to make a new plan. And if he couldn't become someone, he would have to dominate someone to make them make a body that he could become. And when he decided he had to make an indestructible person, who better than his own obedient daughter? Specifically onto how he made Vanny out of Vanessa, I think there's a key line in the therapy CDs, which we're going to go a lot into later, that explain how it happened. In CD 11, Vanessa breaks for a moment and mentions him.
I can't talk about this. He said he would always be watching. He could be here, or there, or anywhere in between.
Are you talking about your dad? Have those feelings come up again? I hate sounding like a broken record, but this is something you really need to resolve if you're ever going to be happy.
I have. I compartmentalized him. He's locked away.
The therapist here is assuming that Vanessa is talking about her reported abusive father, but I think she's talking about Glitchtrap. He's compartmentalized in her brain, literally. Just like a separated hard drive, Glitchtrap made a partition within Vanessa's brain, wiped it clean, and put as much Vanny in it as he could. Thus, we get Vanny and Vanessa sharing the same mind. I want to clear the air. I didn't want to really get into this, but I've seen it posted a disturbing amount of times, even on this channel. No, Vanessa doesn't have dissociative identity disorder. That's a real mental health problem that affects real people. There's already plenty of terrible representation in the media for people afflicted with DID. We don't need to make Vanny another one. This is a franchise with robot bears and sci-fi digi-ghosts. We can explain Vanny using that. We don't need to bring in real-world mental health problems that affect millions of real-world people. It's unrepresentative, it's harmful, and it's unnecessary. Anyway, rant done. So if we assume that Vanny is as close of a copy to Elizabeth that Glitchtrap could create, what does that help us explain? For one, the rest of the therapy CDs. It would very likely tell us that Patient 46 is Vanny. Patient 46 is seen as a childish foil to Vanessa. A whiz with hacking is manipulating someone through an encrypted log that looks like they're talking to themselves and is seen at the Pizzaplex hacking into things and creating a virus. Oh, you want down? Bye, Mark. If Vanny is an attempt at an obedient daughter to William Afton, this all tracks. She'd have to be good at hacking to accomplish the goals at the Pizzaplex that William Afton wants her to. She'd be childish because Glitchtrap wanted to recreate that child. And who would she be manipulating through this encrypted log? Vanessa, the same person who in these therapy CDs is confirmed to be being manipulated through an encrypted log that looks like she's talking to herself. How else would two minds within one body communicate to each other? I have another piece of somewhat circumstantial evidence linking these CDs, but it blew my mind when I noticed it. All of Vanessa's CDs start with 71, and the silent patient who we're going to assume is Vanny start with 46. But those aren't the only numbers there. The first number represents what sequential order they happened in, and the last two numbers are in order of those tapes individually. But have you noticed it? The last tape for 71, Vanessa, ends on 46, and the first tape for 46, Vanny, starts at 72. It's like they line up perfectly. To be clear, they don't happen in that order, they happen in this order, but I just want to put that out there. These CDs also tell us how far Vanny was willing to go to become William's daughter. The therapist recounts Vanessa's awful childhood in CD 3.
Your dad made you follow instructions, didn't he? I'm talking about the custody battle between your mum and your dad. Your dad didn't play fair, did he? He used to make your mum look bad in court. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Do you want to talk about how that felt? I suppose I don't need you to tell me it felt bad to have a parent scare you into saying things that weren't true. He manipulated you. It wasn't your fault. It's really sad, but it's common for one parent to use their child to hurt the other parent. I know your mum, after she lost the custody case.
Notably, in the last CD, CD 16, the therapist is berating Vanny for making up the story about her parents, how she actually had a wonderful childhood with great parents. And the story that was presented in her files is a lie. So how would she have changed her personal files to show that? Who would have changed it? Why would the files be changed to a story about a father named Bill manipulating his daughter to win custody against their mother? We have the answer to that in CD 5.
What you might not know is that this person who's been sending you messages has been hacking into your personal files too. These are the same files I have here. These files are full of details about your life. Do you know what that means?
The person on the manipulating end of Vanessa's encrypted chat log is hacking into her personal files and has full access to them. The person on the other end of the encrypted log is Vanny. Vanny is hacking into Vanessa's, their own personal files, and changing their familial history to write essentially a fan fiction on how she's actually the true daughter of William Afton. One that survived. One that was a perfect, obedient little girl to him. She's literally rewriting her past, and she's rebuilding her present. Look at the room that we play these CDs in. The hidden Afton room, a recreation of the living room from the Afton household we see in Sister Location. Why would it be here? If not for Vanny to pretend or roleplay that she's part of the happy Afton family, sitting in her father's house, watching TV. Everything in this theory compounds on itself. And I think it gives us really compelling answers for Patient 46, the Afton house, why Vanny is like that, and why Glitchtrap made a Vanny in the first place. This also gives us as much details about Vanny and Vanessa as we can get. But I hear some of you. What makes me so sure that Vanny and Vanessa are the same person? Well, I go more into that, the evidence, and the reasoning behind it in this video. Shout out to the best patrons ever, the Toasted Slices, Emberisk, Amalgam, Zenith, and Tommy Woodyard. And as always, until next time, stay toasty, Slices.